Hello, my lovely wolf pack, and happy Monday. I hope everybody is enjoying and having a wonderful day on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Well, guys, this is our reaction series. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, but there was not really. It's kind of a slow news day. Didn't really know what to talk about, so we whipped this one up for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. So, welcome to Wolfpack Reacts, brought to you by Wolfpack Media, the most entertaining place on YouTube for your news and commentary. I'm your host, Justin Huseman, founder and news contributor. We have a great show today, and I cannot wait to get started. But before we do, as usual, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with literally everyone you know, and join the pack today. All right, well, my friends, lately there's been a lot of talk about these Democratic Socialists of America, or the DSA for short, including here on this channel. We actually did a whole episode on The Lone Wolf Show where we called out the DSA for being anti-American communists. I highly recommend you guys go check that video out whenever you get the chance. I thought it was a good one. But anyway, well, we recently, from that video, were accused of being grifters and fearmongers for publishing it. My friends, let's just get this straight. It's no secret that the DSA is trying to hide the fact that they're just communists disguised as progressive Democrats. And, of course, we'll have the crazies come into our comments. I can already see it now. And they'll spout the common slogan I've been seeing a lot lately of the far left that, oh, you just call it communism because you don't know the difference between communism and socialism. Well, I got fucking news for you guys. That's because there is no difference between socialism and communism. Socialism is simply the precursor to communism. Socialism inevitably leads to communist authoritative dictatorships. It always has. In all of human history, wherever socialism has been implemented, it turns into communism, which is actually the playbook. If you read Karl Marx, he talks about that's exactly the idea. That's exactly the plan. Socialism is simply just the mechanism they use to gain power, to get their foot in the door, if you will, by promising free shit. Promising free shit like free food, free healthcare in this weird utopian society that obviously is never going to come to pass. I hate to break it to you guys, but utopia will never be a thing as long as humans exist. It just won't happen. Ultimately, they're just using and manipulating people that are struggling to gain power, and of course, tossing them aside. These poor people that are struggling, tossing them aside once they have that power. Much like the Democratic Party has been doing for decades. Well, today we're going to be reacting to a video brought to us by Politabrawl Streetcast and Politabrawl Daily. I highly recommend you guys go check out their channel, subscribe to them. I like them. They do some pretty interesting investigative journalism. Well, this video is of investigative journalist Matt Miller. He snuck into a secret DSA meeting in New York to expose the DSA for what they are. Commies. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look.
Here, we don't know, hopefully not.
That's right, I was there, and they're not going to be happy about me publishing this video at all. Too bad. Have you heard of the People's Forum? It is the radical left-wing organization fueling the rise of the DSA in American politics. Funded by China-based Marxist billionaire Neville Roy Singham, who has spent hundreds of millions of dollars destabilizing America through left-wing activism. Well, I snuck into one of their meetings at their New York City headquarters last week. DSA candidates and the left-wing media that plays cover for them are frequently promising us that they are not communist.
How do you respond? Are you a communist?
No, I am not.
All sorts of Republicans ads to say, this is what you're going to get if you vote for the Democrats, a communist.
That framing is one that I don't respond to.
The Washington Post is claiming Republicans are falsely labeling them.
Of course, they refused. They refused to respond to it because I don't know. They don't want to get caught lying, I guess. So they just choose to completely not respond. Interesting.
as communist, and other members in the media are mocking the idea of the Red Scare.
This pivot the president has made to communism, coming after the commies.
This is not Gulag socialism. This is not the Soviet Union socialism.
Democratic socialism is not communism.
But what I found inside proves that they are in fact communist. Let me show you. We drove out to their Manhattan headquarters where the event featuring DSA primary winners Claire Valdez and Daria-Liza Chevalier was taking place. All right, guys, we're walking up to the People's Forum office right now. Wish us luck. We made sure our spy pens were on and ready to go, recording audio and video, and we proceeded to walk into the venue. We had no...
That's pretty cool. That kind of gives me an idea, guys. I kind of want to do this. They got, like, secret spy. They got freaking camera pins, little pins. That's awesome. I figured just to use some of those meta glasses, but no, that's a great idea. Just put in some James Bond type secret pins that records everything. That's dope as hell. Shout out to Matt Miller. That's a great idea.
Problems checking in, but we were told up front that there was absolutely no recording allowed during the meeting. As we walked in, we could see the room was full of about 100 people, or maybe a little more, and we noticed
See, that's what I'm saying. Just that right there. The fact that no recording is allowed, it just shows you how they're trying to hide shit, dude. If they were legitimately who they say they are, then they would be open to, yes, everybody record and share this information with people and but just that right there shows you the secretiveness of it is just like, no, these guys are full on coup mode, you know? That's, I don't know. That's just, I immediately get suspicious when you're like, no, you're not allowed to share what we're talking about here. That's what I'm like, because you'll never see that at a Republican rally. You'll never, ever, ever see that, guys, at a Republican rally, at any Republican meetings that they have, TPUSA or what have you. They always welcome recording. They always welcome, because they want their viewpoints to be shared out to the public. Now these guys, they keep it secret because they don't want their ideas shared at all. They don't want people to know what they're really doing, what they're really up to. That immediately, call me crazy, but I immediately get suspicious when they're like, no recording, this is a secret.
flags, Venezuelan flags, as well as artwork up on the walls and posters. And then we quietly took our seats and began to listen to what the speakers were saying. I trimmed down this nearly 2-hour discussion to just the most important and interesting parts. Almost immediately after we sat down, they began to talk about an infiltration at one of their events in Brooklyn a couple weeks ago.
But, just in the recent week, we have seen multiple attacks against the socialist movement in general. As some of you all know, one meeting in DSA was infiltrated, right? And some of our organizers were dogs. As we become stronger, the attacks are increasing, right?
There are things they're going to continue to do. They continue to smear us. Fox News is going to continue to showcase us. So thanks, Fox News, for making us look good. We look really good.
Yeah, I'm sure they're really happy with the coverage. Well, we're gonna be covering you too, guys. We're exposing you people for who you really are, dude. Like, fuck out of here. They're really proud of it. They're really like, oh, Fox News, we love that you're talking about us so much. What fucking absolute narcissists, these fucking people, man.
But again, we have to navigate this together, whether it be in media or it be in meetings like this, or maybe the journalists here. We don't know. Hopefully not. We had this social where some, journalists who didn't say they were journalists, they were there and they wrote about us. So we're continuing to really traverse this, and I just always want us to also know our risk levels as organizers. We never invite you to do anything you don't want to do, whether it be a direct action or maybe a meeting you don't want to partake in, because many of us are also immigrants, right? And so know that it's so exciting to be here, and I want to keep winning, and the right is obviously going to continue to adapt and evolve to try to, smother us and stop us, because they're so shocked that we won as big as we did. didn't want us to. They were hoping that Zoran was going to be a fluke 1 year ago, and it was not.
I'm 99% sure they were referring to me when I did sneak into a DSA fundraising party in Brooklyn a couple weeks ago, and we exposed that they have this anti-ICE hotline that they encourage their members to call or text when they see ICE around the city. Then they sent a bunch of protesters to go ahead and impede federal...
That's illegal, guys. That's freaking illegal. Wow, and these people, the brazenness of these people, I'll give them that. But shout out to Matt Miller, man. You're the man, bro. Getting this stuff out there, sneaking into these events, it's a great idea. It's a great way to expose these people for who they really are.
Law enforcement from doing their jobs. This is illegal, and I understand why they might be upset about the fact that we revealed that. Definitely go check that out on this channel. I'll leave a link to that report in the description, but we definitely did not dox anybody. Doxing involves revealing home address information or other personal information that would allow people to go and find you and attack you. We did not do that. We just...
Kind of what Mayor Zoran Mamdani did to the wealthy people of New York. Straight up doxed them. They're not too happy about it.
Simply reported on who was there and who was involved in organizing the event, which is totally in bounds. I'm very against doxing, and I would never do that to anybody, no matter what side of politics you're on. Now listen to them brag about how they're taking power using undercover operatives for the DSA, including illegal immigrants. Their code word for illegal immigrants is compañeros, which means comrade in Spanish.
We know that...
Oh, remember that, guys. Remember that. If you guys hear them talking about this. It's always interesting how these people... they use code words and shit. I always think it's so obvious, so obvious that these people are up to no good. If you have to be secretive about shit and use code words, then you're obviously probably doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing. Probably.
Eyes of the capitalist class and the surveillance state is on the left. Right, and then we have to take that threat seriously. Second, I didn't, have it in my bingo card this week to see myself in like a little picture next to Bill Maher when he was talking shit about DSA.
Yeah, man, I love that Bill Maher, that like Democratic pundits like that are talking about people. I always kind of liked Bill Maher. I thought he was a more reasonable Democrat. We disagree on a lot, but I like his take on the DSA. I love how he's like, fuck that. Fuck all that bitch-ass nonsense. Indeedly.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's so funny. They're trying to sort of affirm their power, and I think that, it comes from a couple of places, right? People, they are afraid to lose their power, even though they have done, very, very little with it. Other than enrich themselves.
Yeah, here they're talking shit about the Democrats, which I find just absolutely hilarious. Like, Democrats, regular ass Democrats out there, I'm telling you, these people are not your friends, dude. These people are not your friends. They do not like you any more than they like us Republicans. Just fair warning.
Class. And something else that I'll mention, what I really think is the core of the fear of a lot of the establishment is that they fear an empowered working class. It's so funny because, again, it's like socialism, they're really communist, they're really actually authoritarian, they're really this and that, whatever. It's like, actually, my involvement in the DSA, I feel like it hasn't one of
the fact that your meeting has to be like this secret and no recording allowed bullshit. You're just proving us right, dude. I guess, what do I know? I'm just a guy that bitches on the internet.
Only times that I have been a part of a democratic organization and part of a democratic movement that has empowered me and given me agency over my life. And man, does that scare the establishment. That is how we answer to their fear-mongering. Right? It's through welcoming people, welcoming working class people, welcoming Latino people into this beautiful movement.
Oh, really? You're welcoming. Oh, well, am I welcome? Like, I'm a Republican, I'm conservative. I bet you that I am absolutely not welcome at any of these places. I mean, this guy had to sneak in. He had to sneak in, bro. He had to secretly record you. That is not very welcoming. Not very welcoming. I'm just saying.
I just want to say that
I just want to say,
who was not born in this country, as a
I'm an immigrant.
As someone who just got her citizenship in 2016, you know, I did not openly identify myself as a socialist. For a while, I was a closeted socialist. Partly because, you know, I grew up, when we moved to this country, my parents moved to Florida, and that was a very different political context in which to call yourself a socialista, right? And so I understand that, you know, sometimes because of our own safety, because of the political context, because of your power, you know, you may not be as out and proud or active in particular roles that may be public in your politics. But what I do want to say is that there are so many ways in which you can be involved behind the scenes in small ways. Part of the work that I did, and the reason I moved to Queens, was because I saw the political power that undocumented workers and undocumented people in Queens were building. And, you know, I see some compañeros here that I work with at NICE, Barbara, shout out, compañera, who were...
Yeah, they're talking about illegal immigrants. They're apparently comrades. That's so weird, dude. That's so unbelievably... They say, we're not communists, we're socialists. But you be calling people comrades and shit. Like, what are you talking... Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. It's obvious to me. Like, you can't tell me, I'm not a communist, but I call my other fellow people comrade. Like, I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Part of this movement, right? And so I know deeply and personally and firsthand that you don't have to have papers to have power, right? And
what? Oh my god. Yeah, this is why ICE needs to step it up, man. Like, the Trump administration, I know they're working hard. Shout out to the to the officers of ICE. You guys are the real ones out there doing the real work. Shout out, and we love you guys, and we appreciate everything you do for this country, but we need to step it up, man. We need to step it up. Get these freaking people out of here. They're so confident that they think they have power now. They think people without papers, people that are illegal aliens, they think that they actually have power here, dude. You guys don't have fucking power. You have the power to go the fuck home. That's the power you have. You have the power to go the fuck home. Fucking insane, man.
And while I understand that right now it is a deeply vulnerable moment for our comunidad, I also know that we have the keys to our liberation, compañeros.
Next, they revealed their utter disdain for the Democrat Party, which is interesting because they're currently using the Democrat Party institution and electoral resources to win primary elections and oust incumbents. And pay close attention to this quote war that they're preparing for.
I talked about the body and the Democratic Party wanting to make it seem like this is a family. You don't cross the family. The family doesn't support you, right? It's all purposeful because they want to control you. I say this because they control everything.
This is what I'm saying, is these people are, this is all manipulative language, guys. Like, all they're doing is trying to manipulate these people into, like, I'd hate to say it, but it kind of reminds me of the right wing when, we're saying the mysterious they, you know, the conspiracy theorists on the right like to say the mysterious theys. And I don't mean that as like an attack on the conspiracy theory people, but I just find it interesting that they're copying that. I feel like that's all leftists do. Like the right comes up with like some good ways to get people into our party, and then far left Democrats they'll use that to they'll like copy our tactic. They'll copy our moves, man. They're unable to come up with any of their own actual moves, so they'll just copy our moves. But here I just see more of this manipulative language that they're trying to use people that are struggling. I don't know, man. I just find that dark. I just find it dark and not cool. Not cool.
Right? As much power as a governor has, she answers to somebody. Right? I remember the first time Carl, the Speaker of the Assembly, said, "Who do I have to call?"
Who are you going to call?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Not the Democrats.
He meant, like, who does he have to call that's going to call me and make sure I listen and fall in line? But that's part of the problem for them, right? That's why they're making such a big deal. That's why they're making so many excuses as to why they lost. They have to. They cannot allow someone like Zoran to go in with simple...
Yeah, that's why they lost. Yeah, that's why they lost. No, they lost the same reason why these people are going to lose. Because they're going to promise shit that they can't deliver on. And then get into power, and then they're going to fucking toss you aside, man. They're not going to deliver on any of this shit. Zoran isn't able to deliver on any of this shit. You can't just give people free shit, bro. Like, somebody's paying for it down the road, and if you ain't got the money to pay for it, then nobody's getting free shit, guys. If you're voting based on just getting free shit, you're not gonna get it, dude. They are liars. They're all these people, the DSA, the Democrats, far left, fucking whatever. I don't care what you call them, the liberals, whatever. They're lying. Free shit doesn't exist. It does not exist. You will never get free shit. I promise you.
Policies like childcare. They make excuses on why they can't provide. They'll throw you some crumbs to keep you happy and keep you along. We need to band together, and we need to get ready for this war that's coming up.
Listening to this, really, it just sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like controlled opposition is the word I was trying to think of. Yeah. Because it just seems like they're just like, I don't know, the Democrats haven't gone far enough or something. I'm like, they're using the people that haven't gotten delivered. They'll vote in Democrats and obviously get none of the stuff that they promise them, and they're like, well, we promise that we'll give you the things that the Democrats didn't give you. But I already see the writing in the tea leaves here, guys, that they're gonna have the same problem that Democrats have. Once they actually get into office, all the things they promised, they're gonna hit a roadblock and go, well, actually, we actually can't afford, we actually can't give you the things that we, like, I just see them repeating this stupid cycle of, yeah, we offer people free shit to get votes, but then once they're actually in elective office, they don't actually have the power to give people free shit. It's just not gonna happen. Oh, ridiculous.
No more of a class war. The reason that we're facing this sudden backlash and the sudden freak out is because we're winning. And because all the excuses they had before to say why, even when we won, our victories were not legitimate or not valid, they're falling away. The bullshit they want to tell us about how the working class is against the working class, multiracial working class is against socialism, just isn't true.
It is true. It absolutely is true. The only people that care about socialism are motherfuckers with no jobs, bro. These people that don't want to work. The working class is not behind this. And the only people in the working class, that are just more people that are working, but don't want to work. They'd rather get free shit. I do not understand this free shit, guys. You guys really want free shit? I don't know, maybe I'm a weirdo, but, I would feel like a piece of shit getting handouts, man. I'd feel like a piece of shit. I've never taken any kind of government anything, because even though I totally could, but it just makes me feel like in the wrong. I don't feel right about taking any kind of governmental handout, even if I do need it, even if I have the opportunity. I personally, it makes me feel like a piece of shit.
Here in this room right now, this is the multiracial working class, and we're at the People's Forum. And I think because we are winning, obviously now we have this target on our backs. And it's not just us, it's the labor movement too. Sean Fain and the UAW are under investigation by the Department of Justice. And it's because the UAW stood in solidarity with Palestine, called for a ceasefire early before a lot of these fucking Democrats had the spine to do it. They're coming after us because we're presenting a real vision of international solidarity with the entire world against the war machine, against corporate billionaires, against people who have made our lives incredibly hard for a long time. So they're freaked out right now, and they should be.
Just more manipulative speak here, guys. More manipulative language. That's all they're gonna do. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. We're running out of time, so we gotta get through this. Let's go to here.
Got really interesting. After the 2-hour-long panel discussion concluded, we had a chance to walk around the venue freely and socialize with some of the socialists. The place was covered in communist propaganda and literature. First, I spotted several references to the Black Panther Party, the militant black nationalist organization that has Marxism and Maoism as core tenets. On the wall was a painting of Assata Shakur, an open communist and leader of the Black Liberation Army who was charged in the United States with several bank robberies and murders, including a conviction for killing a state trooper. She fled to Cuba after escaping prison and was protected by the communist regime there until her death in 2025. I spotted countless depictions of Vladimir Lenin, the murderous Bolshevik dictator who founded the Soviet Union and is responsible for as many as 10 million.
We're not communists, we swear. We're not fucking communists. Yeah, you are.
In deaths during the Red Terror and through concentration camps and mass forced starvations.
By the way, I really encourage people to look up that particular communist revolution, the Bolshevik, the Red Terror. It'll scare the shit out of you. Trust me. Trust me, guys, if you want to, like, I'm just saying, they're offering this kind of literature, guys. You don't want nothing to do with that shit. You do not want this shit. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You don't want this shit here, man. You do not want this shit here. Read up on it, guys. Read up. Always do your own research and never take my word for it. Read up on some of this shit. Read Karl Marx. Read about the Bolshevik Revolution. Read about, Maoist communist revolution. Read about those things, man. Don't ever take my word for it. Just read this shit. Read Rules for Radicals. That's a really important one. I always encourage people to read that one because it's the playbook, man. It's the exact playbook. Just saying.
He sported red Bolshevik stars on their hats and shirts. After I asked one about his shirt, he told me outright that he was a communist and thinks that figures like Hassan Piker are not radical enough for him. A book by Communist Party leader
They'll straight up tell you who they are, man. Like they are communists. Look at all these. Look at all these books they got going here.
Claudia Jones was on display on the front table, as well as several by Karl Marx on the bookshelf behind it. So what does this all mean? The DSA candidates who claim that they are not communist are giving speeches to and collaborating with the People's Forum, an obviously communist organization, which is financed by foreign communist entities like Neville Roy Singham and who raise money for foreign communist regimes like Cuba and Venezuela. Not to put too fine a point on it, but this would be like a Trump-endorsed candidate giving a speech at a neo-Nazi rally and then claiming that he's not a fascist or a white supremacist. It wouldn't make
bingo
sense, but the DSA is clearly linked to and embedded with communists. Just look at all of the references we just heard in these speeches about international solidarity of the working class and class warfare. Marx envisions socialism as the precursor to communism. He thought about world history and economic...
That's amazing. I literally just said that at the intro of this video.
...models as different phases that you would pass through. You would go from feudalism to capitalism, then to socialism, and then to communism as the endpoint or the ideal, as an equal world with no social classes and no private property. Marx envisioned a world with no government, where government was not necessary anymore. But all of the communist countries that still exist today and that we saw throughout the 20th century had extremely massive and authoritarian governments that took advantage of working class people rather than making their lives better. This is about the shift of power from capitalists to people who own capital, entrepreneurs, people who own businesses, to people who are bureaucrats that work for a large centralized government that plans the economy, does away with the free market, and turns themselves into the new elite, rather than doing away with elitism and social class altogether. This is the way this is borne out in history every single time it's been tried. So hopefully we get some answers from Claire Valdez at New York.
Absolutely 100%. And that is entirely correct. Everything that I've been trying to explain to people is exactly what he broke down right there at the end of that video. These people are pun not intended, wolves in sheep's clothing. But guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all the time we have today. I hope you enjoyed this reaction video. It's a little different than what we usually do here at the channel, but I should be back with the Lone Wolf Show. Hopefully I'll find a good article or a good news story to report on later today. But we appreciate you guys being here. If you stuck around till the end of the video, make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. That is the best thing you can do to support us and support our work. Share the show with literally everybody that you know. You can find us on X and Facebook, TikTok, all the other places at Wolfpack Media 92. And I suppose we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.